Coming into Springboard, where were we? We were just gearing up for our 10th season. That was this year, 2016. We had a reputation for consistently high-quality productions. In 2014, we actually won the Gregory Award presented by Theater Puget Sound for Theater of the Year in the Puget Sound area. And just a few weeks ago, we were nominated again for 2016 for Theater of the Year, in addition to several others. Very pleased about that. So the artistic side of the house, as I'm sure you guys all understand, is in pretty good shape. It's the administrative half where we've had some issues. No paid staff is certainly not the only issue that we have on the administrative side, but it is a big one. We're basically all volunteer run, and that leads to a lot of burnout among volunteers and staff members and board members, and some have been doing it for 10 years now, and that is just a lot of time to be dedicating that much time and effort without pay. So our key issues report identified 3 key issues. One is institutional identity. Not just who are we, but who do we want to be? Where do we want to go? It came up in the Springboard process that we were maybe not all on the same page about that. And so that was a really important thing for us to figure out, because if we don't know who we are, we can't tell donors and funders who we are and why they should support us. Which leads into our second key issue, contributed income, diversification, and growth. Really trying to increase our donor base, increase the donations, the number of grants that we're applying for and receiving, things like that. And then volunteerism versus professionalization. Do we want to be an all-volunteer organization? Do we want to have professional staff? And what does that mean going forward? How do we achieve what we are looking to do? So in terms of institutional identity, the revised mission statement is one of the big pieces of that, trying to really clarify and be able to articulate who we are and who we want to be. The board is going to go through that process this fall, but we've already started collecting some data. We did a survey of our summer audiences, and then we're going to do a survey of a larger patron group. We're going to have a company meeting with actors and other artists just to get a sense of who they think we are right now, who they would like us to be, so the board can keep that in mind as we go through the mission process for the facilitator this fall. We also are looking to come up with an institutional marketing plan. One of our big issues that we have is that because we don't have our own venue, a lot of people don't necessarily realize when Sound Theater Company produces a show. They see a wonderful show and they associate it with the venue rather than with our company. So as part of this institutional identity, we want to be able to talk about who we are and have recognizable brands in the community. So we've set up a plan to go through that process. We've engaged a PR consultant who's going to help us get our name out there and go through the branding process. And this last bullet point is, I think, pretty exciting. And we've actually started to put some money into these things. We have a pretty decent pot of reserves built up. Teresa deserves a lot of credit for shepherding us to that point. And I think the Springboard process has really helped the board see the importance of some of these things, and that making investments can help us move forward and grow in a really effective way. And then on the professionalization front, one of the big things that we've started to do is just clarify the existing structure. I think going through Springboard helped us see there were some things that were really not clear in terms of lines of communication, decision-making, authority, and the board has really started to look at that and clarify what we're doing right now so that we have something to build off of and improve in the future. We're also looking at board versus staff roles. The way I've started thinking about this is, for 10 years now, Sound Theater's been really good at producing plays, and now we're trying to transition to running an organization and running a theater company. And that's a very different process and requires different things from our board and from our volunteers. And so Springboard, I think, has helped clarify for the board some of those things, what that looks like, and when we're wearing our board hats and when we're wearing our staff hats, so that in the future we can maybe start to break those out a little bit more. And just starting to improve board communication and record keeping. I think Springboard, for me at least, helped sort of expose some of the stuff that we had just been doing ad hoc and flying by the seat of our pants, and we're really trying to become more sort of structured and organized, so that as we engage with the rest of the Springboard plan, we're in a better position to succeed with implementing what we've got coming up.
It's been a really terrific process for us. I mean, it's just made some things just so incredibly concrete and clear. And I think what was kind of I just wanted to share that kind of a beautiful moment for me was the moment when all three of these steps became kind of one step in my own thinking. And maybe that's just me and sort of the artistic side and always looking for how things are connected. But there was, I know, a moment where we were sitting with Rob around the table, and it was one of those 3-hour sessions or something. There was just a moment where, looking at the mission, getting clear, we've been talking around it and about it for so long, not necessarily changing what we're doing, but how we talk about what we're doing, how we communicate about it, and how we communicate about what the social impact is of what we're doing. So, I mean, one of the things I'd been talking about even before then was creating a committee, a social justice or social impact committee, of people to keep those ideas going and generated. So we had a place, to go to and kind of come to and say, okay, how does this affect at every level of the organization? How does this affect in its board structure and growth? How does it affect every aspect that we're doing, in addition to obviously the art and the statements and the engagement of artists in that, but every aspect of the organization. So that's exciting. And so this idea of adapting the mission so it really in a robust way articulates that, what we've already been doing, then that begets the ability to ask for money and build structure, and then that would beget this huge dream of professionalization, which has always felt kind of pie in the sky. But the click was, it seemed possible.